This is the coldcases.com, and I'm here with Melissa, Deanna Merryfield's sister. And Deanna Merryfield went missing in July 1990. 1990, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And Deanna was seen with either white or Hispanic two males at 3 a.m. on July 22nd, 1990. And we're here with Melissa to get some updates as far as what's gone on in the case since we last spoke. So,
Mhm.
Melissa, what's some updates you can share with us?
So I think the last time we spoke was early July of 2025,
Yes.
and, since then, we have had 3 more ground searches, with, Team Texas Canines and the detective that's helping us out. Um, the detective is also working on some things. There have been witnesses to confirm, Deanna was seen in that vehicle. Um So there is movement, there are things
Mhm.
going on, and it's just not a whole lot I can talk about on that front.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of, as far as us and what we're doing, we're just trying to keep, Deanna's name
Yeah.
out front
And
and
I and I saw that episode with forget it, detective something or another. I forget his
detective perspective. Mhm.
yeah, that was such a great video. He really did that justice.
Yeah.
And I had questions while I was watching that show.
Mhm.
One of the first questions I'm gonna ask you is, okay, so the guy that, um, Edith, or I think it was Edith, saw was either, his name may have been Tony or something like that, they said. And
So yeah.
and my question was, do you think if you went through the school books, because they were
Mhm.
preppy kids, do you think if you went through the school books, from the area around that time, do you think that would maybe help?
So it was actually Deanna's twin sister, Becky, was the one who, said that it was, possibly Tony.
Okay.
Um, we have gone through school books, we have not been able to link a Tony to Deanna, as far as that night,
Mhm.
uh, so it's one of those things, it's kind of we're not sure if it was a mistaken identity type of thing or if it was, if it was a Tony and we just haven't been able to find him. But I can say that the detective has put a lot of resources into trying to track down that lead, and we haven't been able to get anything from it yet.
Okay. And the phone call that came from Kentucky, um, my feelings on that is I think it was just somebody pranking or something like that. But it does raise suspicions as far as like, why would somebody do that? And is there any merit to maybe her being in Kentucky or so?
So I don't feel like there's a whole lot of merit to it, because the only family member that had ties to Kentucky was our grandma, Edith, and she
Uh-huh.
was the one that, was pushing to have Deanna's case reopened, and she was the only one that
Yeah.
followed up with police at all. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that she would send Deanna off and then try and bring in law enforcement.
Right. Right.
Um so I'm not sure ab I can't feel like that's a solid lead, at
Yeah.
least not right
I
now.
I agree with
We
you.
Yeah, we have more solid leads that, the detective and the private investigator are following up on. If those start to dry up, then, maybe we circle back around and try and look into Kentucky a little bit more. But
Yeah.
you have to keep in mind, at that time, it was Becky and our oldest sister were living in an apartment together. So, the only way they would have been able to even know their number is they would have had to know that Becky and our oldest sister were living in an apartment together and know their full name in order to call information. They would have to be connected to the local information, and then place a collect call. So it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah. And here's another thing, I always get hung up about your case. I always ask questions, I always have these questions in my mind, because that phone, not the Kentucky phone call, but the phone call where they said, "Oh, she's came back," or whatever.
Mhm.
Now, now I'm thinking like, okay, maybe that's like a mother or a significant other, like, trying to protect somebody or something so that nobody investigated the case in the 1990s, you know?
Yeah, that's possible. Even if it wasn't necessarily our mother, if
Yeah, or
just
somebody else's mother is what I'm thinking.
somebody
Yeah.
else's mother in general, that is very possible, and that's something I hadn't thought about. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to share that
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
detective because I think that's really worth looking into.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I just think there's people that know what happened or know of
absolutely.
something, and they're just staying quiet, and,
Yes.
you know,
Mhm.
even some of the people who may have done something may already be dead or something,
Mhm.
and, there's no use in continuing to protect these people. They're awful people, whoever did this,
Right.
and I just think, somebody knows something out there and they need to come forward, you know?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. At this point, I mean, the case is 36 years old. Um, I have no desire to pursue criminal justice as far as,
Mhm.
Deanna goes. Um, I just wanna know where she is. I wanna
Yeah,
be
you
able
wanna bring her
to,
home.
yeah, bring her home and put her to rest in the way that she deserves. So I really feel like there are definitely people out there who know something. I think they're worried about getting in trouble, but I think they also need to keep in mind that, this case is really old. There's, any prosecutors or anything like that are going to have to prioritize. And if the family isn't necessarily seeking criminal justice, there's probably, I'm just speculating, of course, but there's probably no reason to be afraid at this point.
Mhm.
I just want Deanna home.
Yeah, and that's what I think, whoever knows something, they they just need to feel in their own conscience, what
Mhm.
they would feel like if they were you,
Yeah.
and you're not you don't wanna just take the if you want to get closure instead of the other
Mhm.
stuff, you know?
Right.
And I think whoever listens to this and they know something, they should come forward. Um, but I I just thank you for your honesty and
Mhm.
your integrity and making sure that her case gets solved and everything. And I enjoy speaking to you guys as well because we talk over Messenger quite a bit. And Luke is there with you. Luke is
Yes,
her
yes.
husband.
Hello.
But, anyways, I think that's good updates,
Yes.
so,
And
uh
thank you. Thank you for taking the time to, um, checking in. A lot of times, people get busy with their podcasts and it's kind of a one and done thing and they don't
yeah.
check in. So I really appreciate that you still check in and continue to cover Deanna's story. I really do appreciate that.
Well, I want answers too, like, when I hear about Deanna's case, I get so many questions, and I want answers too, but
Yeah.
I'm sure I just feel for you, so, yeah.
Well, thank you, Dustin. I really appreciate it.